Dum dum dum. Hello and welcome to Was It Worth Buying, and this is for Twin Peaks box set Blu-ray. Blu-ray. In my mind I was trying to think of how to say that backwards. Now, I've got a friend in this room right now. It's a butterfly or a moth. Yeah, it's a bit distracting. It's like a winged demon of death. I picked this up in the last clearance sale. You can get a bigger box set of this, and it's nearly like £100, falls out like a little cube. Walk Through Fire has been announced that it is going to get a standalone release. It's missing from this box set. Now, I haven't seen Walk Through Fire, and I hadn't seen Twin Peaks until I unleashed this beast. Now, this is the television collection, nicely put on there. It's both season 1, season 2, and the new series. As I say, look at that, compared to the Red Dwarf one, which I did last. Nicely compact, all horrible Blu-ray discs. You know, they're very transparent and they're double deep as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, took us a good few months to get through this box set. As I say, anyone's just seen the last Red Dwarf video I did, they could have easily done that and saved a lot of plastic. It's a really nice, well-made case, mind. You cannot doubt that, deny that. It's got Innocence on there. Innocence. Yeah, so I picked this up. I'm a big fan of TV shows now. I never have been, because with working in retail with films and stuff, someone always spoils it. Like someone spoiled Prison Break for us. I was in the third season of Prison Break. Oh yeah, his brother's dead. And of course, that's not spoiling it for anyone now, because there's now just been announced that there's a Prison Break season 6 being announced. So, but again, it's like in the hype of Game of Thrones and stuff like that, I just won't watch it. And the last couple of years, I've been watching TV shows going to bed and like putting it on, you know what I mean? Because again, for years and years and years, I've always watching films, especially the VHS collector. I didn't have many TV shows on VHS because box sets would be like that big. The leap and boundaries of DVDs now to Blu-ray, of slimline complete collections, it's just insane. So I never got around to Twin Peaks. I was always drawn to Twin Peaks. I've always liked the movies like that, you know, reminds me of New Zealand and stuff, like Nelson and stuff, and Mochueta and all that like literally little towns and not little people, but little towns or little resorts and the nature side of it. I always had that vibe, and I always heard it was a bit weird. I'm not a massive fan of David Lynch's movies. I don't think I've got one standalone movie. I remember seeing Lost Highway very early on, but watching this, I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. I like the music. I've bought the vinyl since obviously watching the TV show. I liked how many famous people had been in it and like went on to do other stuff, and you recognise them from other things. There's a couple of cast who were in little films like Dream a Little Dream popping up there. I think Kyle MacLachlan's great in it. It's very quirky. It does have that escapism with a TV show, the instant transplantation. I think it's something to do with the music, how it's done. And the whole mystery of it, you know, who killed it, and like you're building up to a big conspiracy and a big reveal. And then the second season come along, and there's an amazing documentary on that as well. And it shows you the documentary of the first one, and the first thing, and how like David Lynch took some time away as well as the writer. Sorry, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But they all sort of took a step back, and the TV companies wanted the reveal of who killed it. And then it just started getting really quirky and weird, and who's did it, and then, you know, boom, like 25 years later. And I remember when Twin Peaks came back out, everyone was talking about it. I personally was more interested in X-Files. X-Files is a TV show I completely binge watched recently, and not knowing what the new seasons were like, really enjoyed it. And it seems to stop there. I mean, David Duchovny turns up in the first season of that, dressed as a woman, the FBI agent, and it's like, he comes back in the new series. I mean, the new series as well had so many people in it. So many, like Michael Cera's in it randomly. David Bowie makes a random appearance. You've got James Belushi in there. There's so many famous people in this, even though they're in bit roles. And a lot of David Lynch's collaborations came in. I was expecting Nicolas Cage to be in this because Lauren Dern is in it. What's she called again? Not Campbell. Oh, she's in King Kong. Oh, it's on the edge of my tongue. It's on the edge of my tongue. She's in it as well. There's loads of famous people, but like the new series was fucking mental. I like the bands. He brings the bands in. But the clash of like bringing the old characters back and all the weirdness, and then like what happened after the bank explosion in the second season, and just the purgatory of what happens in it. Like the episode, the award-winning episode where it's all black and everyone's painted up and it's all fucking weird and spinning kettles and stuff, and I was just like Nine Inch Nails play at the start, and you literally feel like you fell asleep. And I think that's what's very unique about watching Twin Peaks in bed, right to sleep. You pay a lot of attention to it. But this, like, it being in Vegas and away from Twin Peaks, spoiled it from a lot of me. It definitely like started leaning towards the beyond and the fucking craziness. It's great that David Lynch had total freedom to do what it was, and massive respect to him as a writer and director to direct every fucking episode. Like they might have had guests in, they might have had people to help out, but you know, name checked, it's the same editor as the original show, it's the same writers, it's the same director, and they are epically long. I think the third season's longer than the first two put together. It just never seemed to end, and like they even ended it where it's fucking weird, and like there's a lots of videos on YouTube where they're on about like the mythology and all the random stuff of Twin Peaks, and it's very fascinating on people's takes and opinions. It's like a Room 237 on The Shining. There's so many like, oh, this, that, this and that, and then like again though, it's like bringing in the new characters, and then there's two Kyle MacLachlans, and it's all weird, and it being in Vegas, I felt it pulled away, and then like the new cast will interact with the old cast, but the old cast wouldn't have much, and it's just mental. It's mental, and especially for me, you know, going from like I skipped 25 year, like, you know what I mean. It was just a disc to me. It was like, right, what's the next disc? Right, we're on to season 3, but it's like a television event. It was just stunning, you know. You can't knock it. It's just, I mean, could it have been a bit shorter? Couldn't have been that. It could have been nothing. They could not have chose to do it. I watched an episode of the Tales from the Dark Side the other day, and it's about an alien who comes down, and it's like, he's like, we're going to pay you a lot of money to do 6 new episodes of the detective show, and it's the mayor from Ghostbusters, and he's like, who's going to pay for that? No one's going to pay for that. He will pay you in gold. So they do it, and it's just like, yeah, they're for aliens, because of the transmission that goes out there in the universe, and all the aliens are hooked on this TV show, and like it's just like stops suddenly, and so they come down, and like you think, right, could that happen with Twin Peaks? That butterflies come back this way. But I really enjoyed it. As I say, I've got the score. The soundtrack to the third season always rocks about £45, and it's a hybrid between the score, which I love. The score is beautiful, and obviously a lot of the bands they put in, because every episode ending with a band in that. There is some belting bands on it, but it was just like crazy. Like the show, you just never knew where it was going to go. I mean, there's a bit where Lauren Dern is on top of Kyle MacLachlan, and it's one of the most awkward looking sex scenes. It's no Showgirls. It's even more awkward than Showgirls, and her doing the whole kipper fish back in the pond. It's just a very long, like, Britt was like, what are you watching? I was like, I have no idea. I can't answer that. Like, ask us tomorrow after I've had time to take it in and go, okay. That's the best way to subscribe to weeks. Now, I did say in the Red Dwarf one that the next one would be, because this is all about like, was it worth buying? It's in my collection, and it's like, I have been filtering down some of my collection, but like, you buy something and you look back and go, was this worth watching? Yeah, I would revisit that. I would rewatch it. As I say, it's on there. I enjoyed it. I looked forward to it at certain points. It's got 29 episodes of the original groundbreaking season, 18 episodes of the limited series Return to Twin Peaks 25 years later. It's got loads of behind the scenes extra features as well. It's on for 1,325 minutes approximately. It's like 15. As I say, there is an alternative A to Z collection, it's called, or Z to A. Well, so it might be the wrong way around. But as I say, Walk Through Fire is missing from it, which I know is a prequel story and stuff. But again, I think all the cast were great. But like, even like Audrey from the first season, who's a very like what happens to her in the bank, and it, I thought there was 2 butterflies there. It's gone that way. It's coming back. And her turn up, and then she reappears randomly halfway through the new series with her husband, who's like sort of about this big. And the scene's on for like 25 minutes, and it's them discovering the problems they've got. Right, I'll see you in the outtakes.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
Here in the outtakes, you know, before when I was getting, I'm sure there's two. Look, two butterflies, ready for it? Caught one and then the one flew past. And there you go, that's the outtake. Was it two, was it one? But yeah, as I say, soundtrack's really good as well. And again, you can literally jump off into the middle of the ocean with questions about Twin Peaks, but they're probably never going to get answered. But I think David Lynch, it's fucking great when someone can come back to something they love and like give the story they want and not being fast tracked to it. You know, stuff needs time to find its audience, stuff needs time to dissolve. Like again, like these revamp and resurgence, it's always great to revisit these characters, but time's got to pass. You know what I mean? It's like you look at not just the Gremlins and stuff, like if you want to revisit the cast from the Gremlins now and the kind of era of Netflix and stuff, but if you look at, just for example, Jaws, Steven Spielberg didn't want to do another Jaws, but maybe if you give him a couple of years, he may have went right after he'd seen how big Jaws had gone. But again, there was a new one out the next summer, and that's the kind of rush I was on about. You know, Twin Peaks just sat there and cooked away, and it just proves the point, you never know. You know, television is always on, and there's definitely, like, people are running out of ideas and stuff's getting recycled. Again, check out Tales from the Dark Side, because some of their episodes are brilliant short ideas, and they're 20 minutes long, and you think there's a full movie there, but again, that's the era of filling a void in the television. Right, thanks for watching. Goodbye.